Hey guys, welcome to today's video. We're going to be talking about the Las Vegas Raiders and what are they doing with that offensive line? Like, what are they doing? What's their strategy? What's going on? Before we get started though, please drop a quick like and a sub on today's video. That would really help my channel grow. I'd really appreciate that. And with that said, let's dive right into the video and I hope you enjoy. So I think this headline right here, the Las Vegas Raiders just sabotaged their 2021 season by decimating their offensive line, is what a lot of Raiders fans feel right now. But in today's video, I'm going to go through it. I'm going to explain what the Raiders are doing, what's their strategy, because to be honest, what's going on here? Like, what is going on here? So something Tom Pelissero tweeted out just a few days ago, the Raiders saved $33.5 million in cap space, in cash this year, by trading away 3/5 of their offensive line in a move to improve their defense. Okay, so really that's what it comes down to. Trent Brown, Gabe Jackson, Rodney Hudson, all those guys gone. They're gone. They're gone. Raiders fans, you've got to let it go. And you got to trust in Mike Mayock and John Gruden. To be honest, that's hard because when we look at, their past few seasons together, they haven't drafted very well. They've actually drafted really poorly. And both of those seasons, you've been a game away or either 2 games away or maybe 3 games away from, making the playoffs. And you've missed out on it. You've gone, like last year, you lost 5 of your last 6 games, didn't make the playoffs. And I know I'm putting a lot on this right now, but it's hard to trust in 2 people that haven't done a good job. And I don't know if I'd trust in them if I was a Raiders fan. But this is what they're doing. What they've just done is they have traded away 3/5 of your offensive line. They traded away Rodney Hudson, your all-pro elite type center to the Arizona Cardinals for basically a 3rd-round pick. That's pretty tough to handle. They traded away Gabe Jackson, a really quality right guard, really quality right guard, to the Seattle Seahawks for, I think it was a 5th-round pick. And then they traded away Trent Brown, starting right tackle, one of the better right tackles in the NFL. And that one is the one that I think I might understand more than the others. So right here, obviously Trent Brown right here, but the reason they traded away Trent Brown, or at least the reason I think it was, is he had a massive cap hit. I think it was like $15 or $16 million. Not quite sure about that, but it was large because remember he signed that massive, contract with the Raiders. But nonetheless, I mean, a guy like Trent Brown, I understand. He missed a lot of last year with injuries. He had nagging injuries for a lot of the year. Only played, I think, like 282 snaps or something like that. So that one makes sense to me, right? I can wrap my head around that. But Gabe Jackson, Rodney Hudson, what is going on? What does Mike Mayock, what does John Gruden have up their sleeve? And to be honest, I have no clue. I really have no clue. This to me seems like an act of desperation. To me, it seems like the Raiders had, the 24th best offensive line ranked by PFF last year. And I know PFF doesn't say everything. I know the Raiders had a lot of problems on the offensive line. They had a lot of problems on the offensive line with injuries. But nonetheless, over the past few seasons, when fully healthy, this Raiders offensive line has been one of the best because they've had some really good players on that offensive line. Colton Miller was really good last year. Richie Incognito has been okay with the Raiders. Hudson, as I said, is an elite center. He's one of the best centers in the NFL. Gabe Jackson, really above average, solid right guard. And then you had Trent Brown, who was an elite right tackle. This offensive line was one of the better run blocking and pass protection units in the entire league. And yet, next year, you're going to see it all go up in flames. It's not going to be there, and it's going to look different. The interesting thing for me, though, is they decided to re-sign Richie Incognito. Colton Miller was actually really good last year. He was actually pretty solid last year. But they decided to re-sign Richie Incognito. They decided to move on from Rodney Hudson. But even the more interesting thing here with Rodney Hudson is they were originally going to cut him. They were originally going to cut him, and it was actually going to give them $2 million more in a cap hit. So what's going on here with Mike Mayock? What's going on here with John Gruden? What is the plan? I don't know. To me, it seems, as I said, an act of desperation. It really does. It doesn't make sense what they're doing here. Why are you trading away 3/5 of your offensive line for $34 million in cap space when it's not going to help you win now? They're definitely going to have to target the offensive line in the draft. That's going to be a massive need for them now because, they don't have 3/5 of their offensive line. But I think they signed Denzel Good to a little bit of a contract. He can play multiple positions on the offensive line. But in a way, they want to get cheaper on the offensive line. They want to get younger on the offensive line. They want to get a little bit, younger, less veteran guys, less old veteran contracts so that they can move on from. They moved on from them. They moved on from Trent Brown, moved on from Gabe Jackson, which I think was actually super surprising. Gabe Jackson especially because, a little bit of a younger player and, not super getting up there in age, not a massive contract where, the Hudson contract and the Trent Brown contracts were a lot bigger. But nonetheless, I think there's got to be a bigger story here. There's got to be something in the locker room, because it doesn't make sense to me that they just want to trade away all these guys when in reality, these guys are what one of the reasons why this offense was so successful, or had any success really. And the truth is, now without those guys, I don't know what this offense is going to look like. Sure, they have Josh Jacobs. They signed Kenyon Drake. Their run game's going to be okay, but who are you going to run behind? You can't run behind Rodney Hudson anymore. You can't run behind Gabe Jackson. You can't run behind Trent Brown. And yeah, those guys are probably better as pass protectors than run blockers, but they're still really good run blockers too. You're going to have to run a lot behind the left side of the offensive line. Rich Incognito is a very good run blocker. Definitely not as good as he was earlier in his career, but nonetheless, these moves are shocking to me. Sure, the Raiders went out and signed Yannick Ngakoue to a 2-year deal, but how's that really going to help? Right? When you're not going to have a great offensive line anymore. And it's not like the Raiders have true receivers either. I mean, Hunter Renfrow is okay. Henry Ruggs is okay. Sure, Darren Waller is good, but it's not like the Raiders have any weapons on the offensive side of the football on the outside. Sure, they have Darren Waller, but they don't have like a true number one receiver, and they lost Nelson Aguilar. And for me, this Raiders team just looks like it's getting worse. They look desperate. They look like they need a clean house, but they have nothing to turn towards. And in a way, they don't look like, what's going on here? Like, what is going on here? And I keep on saying that, but it just doesn't make sense. It has to be something in the locker room, because it just doesn't make sense with the Raiders. And I know I'm ranting here, but I feel like the Raiders fans need to hear this, because they need to hear an outside opinion from it. They need to hear a guy who's not a Raiders fan. They need to hear someone who is a fan of the NFL and is just looking in on the situation, like, what the heck is going on here? It doesn't make sense. Why are you trading away Rodney Hudson? Why are you trading away Gabe Jackson? Why are you trading away another elite right tackle in Trent Brown? Great offensive linemen don't grow on trees. I'm a Miami Dolphins fan. I know this, right? I understand this. Great offensive linemen do not grow on trees. They just don't. And when you get a great offensive lineman like Laramie Tunsil, you trade him away for actual value. Trade him away for 2 first-round picks. And sure, Rodney Hudson or Trent Brown or Gabe Jackson are not worth 2 first-round picks. And I think all Raiders fans will agree on that. But nonetheless, trading them away for a third, a fifth, a future fit, like, that's not going to help you. That's not helping you. That's just helping you shed cap. And in a way, I think this had to be a locker room move, because in a way now it's really cut the Raiders' chances of making the playoffs. And unless they can find some real help in the draft, and no one's going to be as good as Trent Brown, no one's going to be as good as Rodney Hudson in the draft, at least not next year. You might find a guard that could be Gabe Jackson type quality, but overall, it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. And if this move is to help the defense, well, now the offense is broken too. So you've tried to increase the salary cap, and now you've just increased the cap space, and now you've just decimated the entire team. So overall, I think this has been a really frustrating offseason from the Las Vegas Raiders. If you're a Raiders fan, I don't know, and now they're wanting Marcus Mariota to take a pay cut too. So it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, and it's at the end of the day, it's really tough if you're a Raiders fan, and I'm really interested to see what you guys have to say on it. What are your thoughts on the whole, Raiders situation? Because I know this was kind of just a rant. It was kind of me ranting for 11 minutes about what I thought the Raiders. It might not be 11 minutes. I actually have no idea how long it's been. How the Raiders, what their strategy is, what they're doing. I know it's been kind of a rant for me, but nonetheless, I just felt like I had to do it, because you know what? This is why I have a YouTube channel, because I get to rant about sports, and that's what I love to do. So with that said, please leave your comments and thoughts about the situation with the Raiders in the comment section down below. I really am interested in what you guys have to say. That would really, that's kind of why I do these videos. Also, if you're new around here, please drop a quick like and a sub on today's video. I'd really appreciate that too. With that said, I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, see ya.